Joining us here at 6 a.m. as we take a live look from Mobile 11, we're seeing much better conditions than we expected before you went to sleep. I actually see some blue sky out there, which is great. That's a great way to start your Friday. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Jason Hackett alongside Alicia Lewis.
I was anticipating a lot of rain waking up, but things moved quickly. We are still under a KARE 11 weather impact alert, though, this morning for some areas, seeing some heavy rain and hail chances. Meteorologist Ren Claire is in for John this morning with more on what you need to know. Hey, Ren.
Hey there. Good morning and happy Friday to you guys. We are looking at, again, an active forecast, even though that rain and the storm chance for us from last night has wrapped up for the Twin Cities. I am tracking storms to the south. You can see we do have heavy rain towards Mankato, and that's crossing over 35 towards Austin and Albert Lea. In terms of hail at this point, that looks like that hail core has weakened quite a bit, but Janesville still could be looking at some small hail moving in. Otherwise, again, the rain over for us today. It's a mainly dry Friday. Severe weather's possible overnight up north, mainly north of 94 while folks are sleeping. The big story is that heat on the way. High temperatures for us today are also going to be hot, even though the worst of it's over the weekend. We're looking at highs in the upper 80s today, 90s across west central and southwestern Minnesota. And up north, a little bit cooler, still sticky though, low 80s in Bemidji. It's going to be breezy through the weekend. We do have a heat warning in place across all of central and southern Minnesota. That starts tomorrow at noon and wraps up Sunday evening. Back to you guys.
Ren, thank you. Let's give you a look at the map. Again, we just saw that Mobile 11 shot, and the roads are already drying up within the metro, which is so great to see. We're seeing some blue skies as well. So good news if you are waking up early and heading out the door. No crashes to slow you down and no significant huge closures starting tonight. We will be talking about one that starts on Sunday. We'll have more on that coming up in a little bit.
We're also keeping our eye on the Xcel Energy outage map following severe thunderstorms overnight. So right now, just under 600 peak customers are waking up in the dark across the metro. That's changed from nearly about 2,000 about 2 hours ago. So they're making some quick progress here. You can see there are crews out working to restore that power right now. And then here are some pictures we've gotten to the newsroom overnight. You can see a lot of hail coming down in Baldwin, Wisconsin. That's just east of Hudson. If you're seeing any damage where you live, you can send that to us on Facebook. As we head into the weekend, we've got another weather impact alert, but this one is for heat, and we haven't seen this since summer of 2023.
It's definitely going to be a hot one, and there are plenty of ways to stay cool over the next few days, but there are some things you should know if you are going to be going to the lake. Dan Kennedy is joining us from East Medicine Lake Park with all the details. Hey, Dan.
Hey, good morning to you both. Yeah, going to be a hot weekend. A lake like this might be a great place to go cool off. But at this lake, at least, you're going to encounter this sign if you head out today, possibly tomorrow and into the weekend. The beach is closed due to water quality issues. So the issue here at East Medicine Lake Park that has forced its closure is the test results show some bacteria levels at unacceptable levels right now for swimmers. And if you take a look at this map right here, you see most of the lakes good to go. All that green, that's great news. Those lakes check off if you're looking to go someplace to cool off during this dangerously hot weekend. But you see there is a couple spots of red on that map. Those are the closed beaches. Hennepin County tests for E. coli frequently. They're going to give the thumbs up when tests come back satisfactory. Of course, not to say you can't enjoy the sunshine this weekend. Still plenty of other ways to stay cool. You know, think picnic spots, perhaps some breezy trails, all the great pools and splash pads we have around here. And the good news, Alicia and Jason, no shortage of summer fun. We do have to keep an eye on these bacteria levels. Only a handful of lakes closed, but thankfully we have another 10,000 or so to choose from this weekend.
That's true. 5 of 10,000. We still got plenty to choose from. Thank you so much, Dan, for keeping it in perspective. Again, throughout the weather impact alert, you can stay updated on KARE 11 Plus. Download the app on your TV and scroll over to KARE 11 Weather Impact 24/7. You can get local forecasts and track live radar around the clock.
We've also been tracking breaking news overnight in Minneapolis. A police investigation in Loring Park, this is near 14th and Nicollet. This is the scene just after midnight. You can see a lot of squad cars blocking off the street there. Our photographer also saw a large group gathering as well. We have reached out to Minneapolis police to see what happened here. We're going to update you as soon as we learn more.
We're learning new details overnight on the targeted attacks on two state lawmakers and the manhunt that followed nearly a week ago now.
Yeah, Michelle Beck has been working through that the last few hours. She joins us now with more. Michelle.
Well, hey guys, we now know some new details about that 43-hour manhunt that led to Vance Belter's arrest. For one, even when law enforcement first got their eyes on him in the countryside, Belter allegedly ran several times. Snipers had spotted him with their scopes for half an hour. That's all coming from Brooklyn Park's Deputy Police Chief Elliot Faust, speaking at a community event to both grieving and shaking up neighbors of the late Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark. Just after the alleged attacks, Faust says Belter moved through the golf course by the Hortman home, dropping items as he went. Based on the timeline of 2.5 hours, it's possible, he says, Belter walked from Brooklyn Park to Minneapolis. And fast forwarding to Green Isle near Belter's home, the deputy chief describes these as the final moments leading up to a capture.
He was low crawling through drainage ditches. It was quite an effort to get away, but there was no chance for him to get away. Finally, we got a large drone overhead with a blinking red light that was able to essentially spot him, literally almost landed on his head, and he knew it was over. So he did give up and he walked out, and we put him in cuffs, and that was it.
Incredible. And because Belter impersonated a police officer, the deputy chief also had some helpful tips about spotting true law enforcement. He said, ask whoever's at the door to show their badge through a window, and also ask for a badge number. Guys, that question for asking for a badge number, it should be very easy for a true police officer to answer, he says. In the case of Vance Belter, apparently he only had a plastic badge. It said something like concealed carry holder.
Oh my goodness.
It's got to be so disorienting. It was 2 a.m. though. Imagine someone's banging on your door. You peek through your window. They look like an officer. You see the flashing lights of the security vehicle. You can't blame them for opening the door and thinking it was a real officer.
Taking advantage of that trust that many people have for law enforcement. It's so sad. Michelle, thank you so much. Also, in the last 24 hours, we're learning Senator Hoffman's wife, Yvette, is out of the hospital. The state senator is listed in serious but stable condition. In a new statement from the family, they say, quote, "We are grappling with the reality that we live in a world where public service carries such risks as a society, as a nation, as a community. We must work together to return to a level of civility that allows us to live peacefully. We'll be praying for that work and appreciate all those who will join us." You can read the Hoffman's entire statement on KARE11.com.
This morning, a new deadline for President Trump to decide whether to order a U.S. airstrike on Iran's nuclear program. He says he will allow 2 weeks of diplomacy before making that decision. Iran says it will not engage in talks with the U.S. until Israel's attacks end. So far, the U.S. has not pressured Israel to stop. Meanwhile, lawmakers on Capitol Hill will get their first classified briefing on the situation next week. And right now, we're learning an Edina man and his partner are stuck in Israel after traveling there for a wedding. And that's because airports are closed due to ballistic missile attacks by Iran. John Skoll says the relatives that they're staying with have a bomb shelter in their basement, which he says they have to go to 1 to 3 times a night. They say they're alerted of incoming missiles through alerts on their phone that go out about 15 minutes before potential impact.
Had a rocket hit here in the vicinity last night, actually. You could hear a distant explosion. At this point, we're in waiting mode. We're just watching and waiting.
Absolutely terrifying. So if airports don't open soon, Skoll says that they may drive to Amman, Jordan, and take a flight from there. Another option would be evacuation cruise ship with the U.S. Embassy, and that would take Americans from Israel to Cyprus, where they could then fly back to America.